Welcome to GFN Gaming, I'm Russ, and in today's campaign game we introduce two new kill teams. We travel to the weapons testing facility on Calchatorus and watch the hunterclade take on Poxy's sassy crew, the Chaos Demons. Please also subscribe to the channel. It feels like an obvious ask, but it really does help, especially in my eternal hunt for free things. Plus, we're very close to 4,000 at the moment, which feels like such an amazing milestone, which I never thought I'd reach, so thank you so much and please consider subscribing. And if you do want to support the channel in any other ways, you can join the Patreon. There's an exclusive Discord to members and early access to all videos. Anyway, please enjoy episode 11 of the campaign, Test Site Massacre.
As the war for Thea 7 rages, elsewhere in the Ventress system on a remote testing site, forces of the Adeptus Mechanicus gather data on a new prototype weapon. Due to the system-wide communications network blackout, they are unaware of the conflict, or indeed the invading Hive Fleet. However, they are soon to discover an entirely different adversary of their own.
In this mission, there is a central objective representing the test data from the Vortex Bomb. For one action point, an operative within triangle of the terminal can start the download. This grants the team 1 victory point. The data will then download over the subsequent turn. Once downloaded, the data drive can be picked up and moved as normal, and whichever side holds the drive at the end of the game will get 2 victory points. Both sides also drew TAC Ops, Chaos Demons ending with Challenge, Headhunter and Execution, and the Hunterclade getting Mark Target, Triangulate and Overrun. In the destructive wake of the Vortex Bomb, a horde of Chaos Demons flood through the now fragile membrane between realities, rushing into battle with the forces of the Adeptus Mechanicum, hungry to feast on what little remnants of their humanity remain. As the two sides square off, the Blood Reaper bellows out a challenge to the Scutari Alpha, looking to intimidate the enemy leader. But the Alpha is more machine than man now. The threat is forgotten, and he prepares his squad for combat. Preparing his Rangers and Shock Troopers for combat, the Alpha sends a burst of binary cant through the squad's comm system, moving all the operatives into the Aggressor Imperative, looking to capitalize on enhanced movement to get his team into position. As the AdMech strategize, a Plague Bearer starts its inexorable march forward. Utilizing the enhanced movement from the Doctrine, a Scutari Shock Trooper races across the kill zone towards the data terminal. As he approaches, his personal servo skull interacts with the terminal, starting the download. Obscured by a constant swarm of plague flies, another Plague Bearer slowly marches forward. Looking to set up covering fire, a vanguard shock trooper moves into cover behind a boulder, resting his radium carbine on the surface and takes aim at the mass of festering demons slowly moving towards their lines. A bloodletter tears out from cover. Barely able to keep its bloodlust in check, the demonic form of carnage and rage itself races across the kill zone towards its enemy. Clambering atop a small boulder, Icario 7 Alpha Gamut hauls his transuramic arquebus up with him, hefting the unwieldy weapon into place with some effort, but with a perfect vantage point overlooking the kill zone, it was worth the effort. Chasing after the leading bloodletter, another of its kind moves forward, this time sticking to cover. Again, utilizing their doctrine, a ranger darts forward, looking to set up an advanced firing line with its heavy galvanic rifle. Unable to spread out as much as their bloodthirsty kin, another plague bearer stumbles forward. A visible miasma of decay clouds the air around its form. Skitarii Alpha Voger 3-4 takes a forward position close to the terminal. Lumbering forward with its kind, the icon bearer plants his banner in the soil of Calchatorus and howls out a battle cry, hardening the resolve of the nearby plague bearers. With his keen, enhanced eyes, Rias 72 Sokat spots a plague bearer out of position. Racing forward, allowing the weapon to power up, he takes aim with his plasma caliber and fires. Burning hot plasma burns through the plague bearer's rancid flesh, melting it off brittle, diseased bones in droves, and the demon is banished back to whatever hellscape birthed it. Advancing up the kill zone, another of the plague bearers marches forward, grabbing cover behind one of the barricades. Assessing the battlefield, the Dictac enters tactical data into his command uplink, sifting through the data and gaining a command point for the squad. As he does, another of the bloodletters race forward, more reserved this time, stopping short to take cover. Unable to get line of sight to a target, the gunner with arc rifle moves forward slightly, looking to set up a secondary gun line for any operatives needing to withdraw. With dried blood clogging its nostrils, a bloodletter risks proximity to the plague bearers in order to get closer to the enemy. Racing forward, it pushes through the plague bearers' lines and takes cover behind a barricade. The Vanguard Surveyor moves next. Keeping close to the gunner, he levels his Omnispecs and starts taking readings across the kill zone, relaying data to the rest of the squad. Another plague bearer marches forward. Looking to position themselves across the kill zone, a Vanguard shock trooper moves out to secure the far flank. With a demonic howl, the leader of the demonic incursion moves. Dripping in flesh blood from an eon of battle, the Blood Reaper takes a forward position, ready to charge into combat. Following his squad mate, another of the Rangers darts down the kill zone to take a forward position. The last of the operatives moves. Following the pack of bloodletters racing down the left flank, the demon stalks forward. As the demonic horde race forward, the data terminal furiously collates the data from the vortex bomb test and subsequent warp storm emergence. The forces of the Adeptus Mechanicum are able to start the download, however holding out until the drive is ready is another matter. As the Chaos Demons descend upon them, they level their guns ready for the coming conflict. Looking to heighten the squad shooting, the Skitarii Alpha initiates the Protector Imperative. Managing to get the drop on the Chaos Demons, the hunterclade are the first to act. The gunner with arc rifle races out towards the terminal in order to get line of sight on the bloodletter. As the beast begins its charge towards the data terminal, the gunner fires with his arc rifle. The demon is blown apart by the savage shooting attack and sent back to the Immaterium. Leaping past the barricade, a bloodletter races towards the Skitarii at the terminal. Lifting its hellblade, it attacks with an unstoppable ferocity, cleaving the shock trooper into chunks with ease. Skitarii Alpha Voger 3-4 repositions, targeting the bloodletter with his arc pistol and fires. Blue-white lightning cracks into the demon's form, however it isn't enough to injure the enemy operative. The plague bearer with banner howls out with mirth, planting its banner again, inspiring the plague bearers in the area. As it does, the gunner with plasma caliber tentatively moves forward. Looking to clear the bloodletter from the objective, he lets out a torrent of plasma death, cleansing the demonic filth from the area. Unable to make combat, another bloodletter races forward on the left flank, heading towards the Skitarii lines. Moving up from the back lines, the Dictat moves behind a barricade and uses its enhanced data tether to boost the shock trooper's efficacy. Once again unable to make it into combat, another bloodletter races up the left flank of the kill zone, howling its frustration at the lack of combat. Up on his perch, Skitarii gunner Icario 7 Alpha Gamut takes aim across the kill zone and fires. Rounds punch into the meaty flesh of the Plague Bearer, but to no avail. With chunks blown off the demon, it continues to march forward, heading towards the data terminal, thick black bile leaking from its fresh wounds. Wandering into the sights of the Ranger, the Plague Bearer makes it to the data terminal, but as it does, heavy galvanic rifle rounds slam into it, punching new holes into its torso. Not doing enough damage to take the demon out of action though, the Ranger then dashes forward, looking to move further into the demon's lines. As he moves forward, a Plague Bearer marches from cover. Its jaw opens and demonic energy flies out towards the Ranger. Falling victim to the Death's Head, the Ranger is dragged into the immaterium with a blurt of binaric cant. Dashing around the corner to get line of sight on the Plague Bearer by the data terminal, the Ranger with galvanic rifle lines up his shot. Rounds punch through the Plague Bearer's putrid flesh, and this time the demon stays down, its body decomposing in fast forward as it loses its grip on reality. Racing instinctively towards the carnage, a bloodletter breaks from cover and moves towards the data terminal. Dashing to get an unobscured shot on the bloodletter, the shock trooper repositions and fires with its radium carbine. Irradiated shots punch into the bloodletter but do little damage. Utilizing the burst of energy from the Dictat, the shock trooper then moves behind the barricade. Drawn towards the humming power of the data terminal, the Plague Bearer marches forward towards the objective. Looking to soften up the bloodletter before it reaches combat, the Surveyor levels his radium carbine and fires. A few lucky shots get through and the bloodletter stumbles as he charges forward, now injured. Moving to the right flank of the kill zone, a Plague Bearer slowly stalks forward. Trapped on the left flank with two bloodletters bearing down on him, the Vanguard shock trooper unleashes a volley from his radium carbine. A few shots get through, but it's not enough to injure the bloodletter. In the final action of the turn, the Blood Reaper howls with delight and charges forward, hoping it gets to strike before it's enveloped in a hail of weapons fire. Sensing the impending slaughter, the Alpha moves his squad into the Conquer Imperative and waits for the charge. Continuing his unstoppable charge and his unending fury, the Blood Reaper charging into the center of the kill zone continues to move, eyes locked on the target of his challenge, and he crashes into the Skitarii Alpha. Although he manages to stun the Blood Reaper with a concussive strike from his Arc Maul, ultimately the Alpha is no match for the untamed fury of the Blood Reaper and is slain in the combat. Looking to target the durable Plague Bearer on the objective, the gunner with Arc Rifle moves to get a clean shot and fires. Arc lightning courses through the Plague Bearer's putrid flesh, bubbling and boiling in places, but the resistant demon emerges unscathed from the attack. As the weapon powers down from the attack, the wounded bloodletter races towards the gunner, and with its unstoppable ferocity, it cleaves the Skitarii in two with one critical strike. Looking to clear the terminal so the data drive can be retrieved, the marksman with Transuranic Arquebus targets the resilient Plague Bearer and fires. A devastating volley punches through the demon's corporeal form, leaving nothing left, and the demon is once again banished. Sensing the importance of the terminal to the AdMech, another Plague Bearer lumbers menacingly forward, looking to flood the area with durable bodies. Locked in combat with the Blood Reaper, the Dictat uses its enhanced data tethers on the plasma caliber gunner and then takes a shot at the injured bloodletter. Heavy galvanic rifle rounds punch through the demon's body and it crumbles lifeless to the floor. Continuing its slow march forward, the Plague Bearer clambers over the barricade and once again summons the demonic energy of the Death's Head to fire at the Ranger ahead of it. A lethal volley brings the Ranger down, and the Plague Bearer adds yet another victim to its tally. Utilizing the extra energy from the Dictat, the Plasma Caliber gunner disengages from the Blood Reaper, levels his gun at the Plague Bearer now moving towards the terminal, and fires. In a devastating blast, the Plague Bearer is destroyed in a single round of shooting, and the terminal is clear. Racing around from cover, a Bloodletter crashes into the gunner. As he collides with the Skitarii, he impales the Plasma Caliber gunner with his horns, goring through the Skitarii's chest. Shaking its head, the lifeless body falls away and crashes into the ground of Calchatorus. Not wanting to give away his position, the Surveyor levels his radium carbine at the Blood Reaper and sends a burst of binaric cant through the squad comms, marking the target for the others in the squad. As the squad comms crackle with information, another Bloodletter crashes into a Vanguard shock trooper, Hellblade making quick work of the Skitarii as another of their number is cut down. With the target now marked and not wanting to suffer another charge from the demonic leader, a shock trooper levels his radium carbine and fires on the Blood Reaper. A lucky volley of irradiated rounds catch the leader off guard and cut the physical form down, taking it out of action. The trooper then moves forward with his eyes on the data terminal. Finally, the last Plague Bearer silently stalks forward. Despite the Alpha no longer being active on the kill zone, the battle-worn Skitarii instinctively know what to do. As a unit, they move into the aggressor imperative. Scanning the battlefield, Skitarii gunner Icario 7 Alpha Gamut directs the squad. The first move is to take out the Bloodletter just below him. Deactivating the sport pole, he allows the barrel to dip and he targets the demon. A devastating burst from the transuranic arquebus eviscerates the demon, leaving a clear path to the data terminal. Moving out of the foliage, an unnoticed Plague Bearer marches onto the data terminal as Icario 7 Alpha Gamut curses to himself and desperately fumbles with his rifle to try and fire again. As Icario 7 Alpha Gamut rushes to reload, the Surveyor below him aims his radium carbine also and fires on the newly emerged Plague Bearer. Shots harmlessly pound into the decayed flesh as the gunner directing the squad looks up, shouting through the squad comms, ordering the Surveyor to stop shooting and rush the terminal instead. Too late now, the Surveyor moves forward but can't quite make it to the objective. Looking to add a third kill to its tally, the Plague Bearer moves into range of the shock trooper and fires with the Death's Head once again. Demonic energies engulf the Skitarii, but he fights through the pain and races on towards the objective, looking to secure the data drive. As he approaches, he takes aim at the Plague Bearer and fires. Rounds once again punch into the decayed flesh, but it's not enough to topple the demon. With savage speed, the Bloodletter races towards the operatives now congregating at the data terminal. As the battle draws to its end, the Dictat races towards the data terminal. He must make sure the data is not lost to the demons. As the battle ends, the forces of the Chaos Demons hold a victory over the hunterclade, managing to score 2 victory points for challenge and 1 for headhunter, with the hunterclade only scoring 1 victory point for mark target and 1 from the mission. Thanks so much for watching. Gonna get back to some normal types of games in the next few releases, but the campaign will obviously continue, and a big shout out to my patrons who help keep the wheels turning. See you in the next video. Bye.